Hello. All right. So in the last few videos, we have established how to connect to the lower Dan Tian, or the abdominal cavity. And we've been using our minds to do that. So we've been actively participating in dropping the awareness, dropping the breath down to that area, and then kind of focusing on that. We also worked on different ways that we can actually locate the lower Dan Tian. But according to the Taoist philosophy, there is this idea of Wu Wei. And Wu Wei is the act of non-doing. And we want our Taoist practice of Tai Chi, of Qigong, and of Neigong to incorporate this notion, this idea of Wu Wei. So being actively finding the lower Dan Tian, finding the belly, then breathing in with our minds to do that, that's all well and good, and it does work. However, as soon as your mind leaves that, as soon as your consciousness leaves that area, it stops doing what it's meant to be doing. And what we want to try to create is, by initiating the laws of Wu Wei, that this will be happening all the time. The breath will just automatically be sunk and located at the lower Dan Tian. Our consciousness will be there. And so things will be, even while we're sleeping, things will always be happening. The rotation of the great water wheel at the lower Dan Tian will be happening. We'll be circulating qi without even us being aware of it. So that is what the long-term goal is, to do that. So I'm going to give you this at another video. I'm going to explain ways that we can, just allowing awareness and allowing the breath to land and together and to meet down there at the lower Dan Tian, and then just to kind of do their thing. All right. So this video is about how to bring our breath down there without us actively making it go down there. So just bear with me. We're going to start just taking a couple breaths. Again, we want to have a nice aligned spine. We are in Wu Ji, even though we're seated. So the top of the head is pulled up. The bones are rigid and hollow, or open, as the Yi Jin Jing text would say. It means that the skeletal structure is rigid. Everything else is hanging off of the bones, drawing down. With your arm, it should feel like everything's pulling down against those bones. All right, so taking those couple first deep breaths, sinking down. Now just allowing the breath to kind of do its own thing. So step away from helping the breath. Just let the breath come and go. And we're going to take just a couple minutes just to allow that process to happen. We have our tongue on the roof of the mouth. You can close your eyes if you want. It might actually help. I'm going to keep mine open for the camera. Just keep that breath going, just watching it. It's almost as if you were just a observer, just kind of sitting on the side and watching that breath. And we're sunging. The body is just, you're allowing everything to sink, starting with the face, with the shoulders, the torso, the stomach. Everything is pulling down, all the fascia, connective tissue, the viscera, the internal organs, is just pulling away and down on the bones. So you should feel this internal stretch happening. Very good. Okay, now at a certain point as we're doing this, just become aware. Again, you're allowing the breath just to come and go as it pleases. And your mind is not focused completely, it's just observing, passively observing. You'll become aware that your breath is sitting somewhere inside the body. When I first start working with clients, their breath is usually somewhere in the chest. And it feels like almost a I call it a sedimentary line of your breath. It feels like the breath is kind of sitting on a plateau. It's almost as if you had a glass of water with some kind of sediment or mud in there. You stirred it up real good, and then you have a cloudy glass. You let that glass, let the water settle, and then the sediment comes down to a certain level. So that's what you're looking for in your breath, is where is that sediment, where is your breath settling? It might be down here already, wherever it is, that's just where it is. Now, you might not feel anything. You might just say, it just kind of feels like, it still feels kind of scattered around in my head and my torso. That's okay too. All that's saying is that glass is still stirred up. So your assignment is that you have to just sit like this and just gradually just give yourself time. It will gradually start just by relaxing, by calming, by not completely just passively observing, by letting the breath go. It will eventually come to a certain level. If we're at that, let's just assume we were at that level where you're feeling the breath, sedimentary level. Once you've established that, again, don't fixate on it, but just passively observe that and just keep the breath going. Just keep that relaxation, that swinging, everything is releasing. Just observing that level there. Just keep it going. Now, after a certain amount of time, it could be 1 minute, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, I don't know. All of a sudden, you will notice that sedimentary, that level starts to descend. With the relaxation, it just starts to pull down. It starts to drop. And you can feel it as it drops all the way down. It's just dropping. Just passively observe it as it drops. And it's usually dropping with the inhale and with the exhale. Sometimes it just will drop with the exhale. But for me, it drops both. Once it starts, it just starts to go. It's inhale, and it's going to end up, you want it to end up right at the lower Dan Tian at that level. So definitely below the navel. Okay? Just let that go down. Again, if it's not happening, it's okay. It's really okay. Just that's just something to come back to keep trying, and eventually it will happen. I promise you. So again, if you're cloudy, don't worry about it. Just keep doing this until you find that sedimentary level. If you found that level, then just sit, just passively observe, and wait for it to drop. Now, if it's dropped and it's down where you want, then we just sit. We just enjoy. Passively observe. We have obtained abdominal breathing without actively doing it. It's just happening by itself. Now, over the days and weeks to come, you will notice that this ability will increase and it'll be more effective each time you do it. A lot of times for me, I will do it and I'll already be down here. It's already there. Other times, I'm feeling it here, had kind of a chaotic day. It's here, after a couple breaths, boom, it starts to descend. Just work with it. It'll eventually come second nature to you. And this is where we want. This is the Wu Wei. We're not even trying. It's just happening. Okay, so that's our tutorial for today. Just work on that. I'll release some other videos where we will just actually do a session together of breathing, and we can do a timed one together, and we can work through that. All right. Wishing you a good evening.